Hello everyone, my name is Shuin Kashi and you are watching Astro Island. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome to the channel, and to my followers and subscribers, welcome back. I know you haven't seen me in a little bit of while, and that's because, especially after the Great American Solar Eclipse, I've had a few interviews and a few seminars with people of all over the country, educating them about things like the moon phases and the sun and solar eclipses, and it was a real adventure doing that from time to time. Many thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Astronomy Society for putting that together, bringing people together and having me present to them on the phases of the moon, solar eclipses, the sun, etc. So it was really enjoyable, and I thank you, and I hope that we can continue to do some great work together with them and many of the other astronomy societies. That being said, I am back, and today what we'll be doing, and I'm actually doing this today because from looking at the various Facebook groups, the Instagram groups, I'm seeing a lot of conversations where sometimes people will install Pixinsight and they have some challenges with errors that may pop up, or they're not sure how to install it. So that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be installing Pixinsight. I'll be showing you how to do it from a very beginner's standpoint, as well as those who are already familiar with it, especially how to install it already. But sometimes you run into a little bit of a stumbling block, having some challenges to install Pixinsight, or errors pop up while installing Pixinsight, along with some of the scripts and programs associated and connected to it. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's go straight to the computer. Alright, so we are now on the computer, and the first thing you need to do to download Pixinsight, you need to go to pixinsight.com. The web page will open up, and you can go to downloads and software distribution. You'll get that login page, and you click login. Actually, if you're doing this for the first time, you need to create an account, and after you create an account, this is where you can log in. Once you log in, you'll get the welcome page that gives you all of the information. Now, the good thing about Pixinsight is that it gives you, I believe it's 45 days trial. So for those of you who are downloading or using Pixinsight for the very first time, you have 45 days to try it out. Now, I tried it out for 4 days and after that, I was sold. I used other programs before to do my astrophotography processing and stacking and everything. But after using Pixinsight and seeing all of the features that it has and a lot of the capabilities, I was convinced. I did not turn back after that. So I definitely recommend give it a try. You have 45 days to use it, and then afterwards you can pay for the full features, all the features of Pixinsight. I believe it's £225 now, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's a one-time purchase, so you have it there for life. So I would say definitely it's a great investment if you're going into astronomy and astrophotography in for the long run. So once you at the welcome page, you go all the way down where it says Pixinsight installation files, and the version that we're going to use is obviously we definitely need to have the latest version, because a lot of the scripts and programs that work with Pixinsight need the latest version in most instances. So I would definitely recommend we go with that option. Also, if you're doing things like SPCC, which is spectrometric what I mean, spectrometric photo calibration, SPCC. Yeah, you need to download these as well. But I would definitely recommend just downloading this one, the complete set of the Gaia DR3 SP, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So you download the latest version of Pixinsight, go right here, and we click on this one if you have Windows. So this version is for Windows. This one is for those of you who use the Mac computers, and the last one here is for those that use Linux operating systems. All right, so I've already downloaded it, so when you click on it, you can download it from there. All right, and then from there now, I've already downloaded in a specific folder, Pixinsight. So you can either right click and select Run as Administrator, depending on the machine that you have, which will give you, of course, full access without any with the least amount of errors, or in most instances no errors. So I'd recommend that you use Run as Administrator if it's your personal machine. Of course, if you're using a work computer, which I would not recommend unless you have that authorization, then you may need some sort of administrative username and password from your IT person. So we select Run as Administrator. All right, so it's going to pop up. We click on Yes. It's going to start the installation. All right, it's computing all of the space required to install Pixinsight. You definitely need a good bit of hard drive space to install Pixinsight. Otherwise, it's not going to work if there is not enough space. All right, so we accept the EULA by clicking Install. Right, so the install is beginning. This is going to take a little while, right, depending on your processor and your RAM and these sort of things. It's going to install pretty quickly. So once it's done, we'll get back to it, shall we? We'll continue. All right, so Pixinsight has successfully completed the installation. So we click on Finish, right, and there we're good to go. Now, for those of you who have installed Pixinsight before, and sometimes you have particular scripts that you download manually versus the repositories, sometimes it's placed in a particular folder within Pixinsight, or you may have placed it within a particular folder in Pixinsight. I would definitely recommend that you take a copy of that folder, place it outside of Pixinsight, maybe on your desktop or somewhere, and then you install Pixinsight, because what usually happens is that Pixinsight installs and erases almost everything. So it's almost with each new version, it's almost like a fresh install. So be sure that you have a copy of any scripts that you have. In my instance, I have a folder called cache scripts that I've placed one side, so that when I'm upgrading to a new version, I can always just copy it back into that particular folder that I need. Right, so Pixinsight has installed. Alright, so let's close these off. And let's launch Pixinsight, shall we? I'm just going to move it down here for easier access. Alright, so Pixinsight is up and running. So, the next thing that we would like to do is to get some scripts installed. And these scripts are more from repositories. And as you can see, the minute you install it, it tells you have 25 Pixinsight updates. Depending on whatever that you have from before, it's going to tell you 12 or 25 or whatnot. So in my instance, I have 25. So let's click on that. And these are all of the scripts that now require updating so that it can be compatible with the latest version of Pixinsight that I've just installed. So we select all, we click on it, select all, and then we click apply. So all 25 scripts are going to be updated. Right, and this one is for the StarX palette utility. I haven't seen my good old buddy Polyman Astro. Just giving you a shout out, and hope you're doing pretty well. We miss you quite a lot with your programs, especially the StarX palette and your pictures that you also post online, and a lot of the very helpful videos that you've posted, that you've published. Even I myself have benefited from it. So I thank you very much for all of the work that you've done. I know, I believe you had a kid recently, so wishing you and your family all the best, and hope to see you back in the Astro world very soon. All right, so we continue. Do you want to download? Yes, definitely we want to update it. right? All of these or some of these are going to give you these prompts. So we just continue clicking yes. Right, so 25 have been successful and none of them have failed. So that's a good thing so far, no errors. So we click OK. Right, and what I always recommend is to restart Pixinsight every time that an update is done, or every time that you do repository updates. So we just close it off. See, it's going to prompt you, do you want to install the updates now? So we click on yes, and we want to restart Pixinsight. All right, so all of the updates were successful. So we click OK. And the next thing we want to do, I have a few scripts that I've copied before from various YouTube channels that I've looked at, and I enjoy using them. So I've made copies of them, copies of the scripts, and I will share them with you in the description down below. So be sure again to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can continue to get updates on everything that I do on the channel. All right, so I see another one is available for updating. So we click select all again and apply. All right, so one was successful. Click OK and we restart again. Right, so again, another successful update. Now, if this is your very first time installing Pixinsight, you may not get these errors. Sorry, not these errors, but these prompts that they are updates. You may just get the raw or the basic version of Pixinsight, and thereafter you can look for various scripts or programs, and of course you can even use the ones that I'll be putting down in the description below, so you can copy those and add those scripts and scripts and programs into your version of Pixinsight. So we click OK, and then now the ones that I want to update, you can go to resources, updates, manage repositories. See, so these are all of them that I've already installed, right? And it looks like all of them have already been updated. Right, so click OK. Right, but like I said, all of those that you just saw, I will share that in the description down below. So now we just need to double check and confirm that they're working. I know, at least for those that have used StarNet version 2 from before, sometimes it's not available. So let's see if it's there or not. So we go to process, all process, and just as I said, StarNet is not available. If you go down to S, see, StarNet is not there. So what do? We need to reinstall it. Alright, so just to be on the safe side, I will close off Pixinsight, because I know, and that's one of the things, if you're installing a program that's connected to Pixinsight or needs to be connected to Pixinsight, I would recommend that you close off Pixinsight, install that particular program, in my instance StarNet, and then you relaunch Pixinsight to avoid any errors. So to get to the StarNet installation files, you need now to go to starnetastro.com/download. So once you go to that page, you can now download the latest version of StarNet. So as I mentioned, in this version, they are no longer doing any version of StarNet on previous versions of Pixinsight. Only the latest version go forward. See, so 1.89-2 and higher, it's where they'll give that support for StarNet. Alright, and then from there we download StarNet. Just click on that link. And if you want to do an update, and again, for brand new users of Pixinsight, you'll then need to do a fresh install of Pixinsight if that's the case. So in my instance, I am doing an update, so I've already clicked on it, and this is where we need to go. Again, I've already put everything in my particular folder, StarNet 2, and all we need to do now, we can follow the README. So what it says here is that You close Pixinsight, which is what I've mentioned earlier. You definitely need to close Pixinsight, and we copy the files from this folder into the Pixinsight bin folder. Alright, so in this instance, and then thereafter, the location should be something like C program files Pixinsight bin. Alright, and make sure the StarNet to pxm.dll is in the bin folder, and then you run Pixinsight. So let's give that a try, shall we? Let's see if we get some errors or if it works. Right, so copy everything. What I usually do is copy everything except, well, of course, you don't need the README file, but you need everything else. So let's copy everything into C, program files, Pixinsight, and here, there we go. We have the bin folder, and we just dump it inside of there. Right, it's going to ask you if you want to replace the files in the destination, and in my instance, I always say yes, replace the files. Right, in my instance, I also need permission. Alright, so I click on this, do this for all current items, and we click continue. And there we go. So let's see what else it says. Alright, so it's in the bin folder. Make sure everything is in the bin folder. And now we run Pixinsight again. So let's minimize this and launch Pixinsight. Right, so Pixinsight is launched. Let's go again to process, all process, and it is still not there. We go to process, modules, install modules. Right, and we have to point now to that very same folder where the Pixinsight, sorry, not Pixinsight, but StarNet was installed. So it's C, in my instance, it's C, program files, Pixinsight, bin. And we click search. I always include recursive. So you click on recursive and we click search. Right, so it's going to find one additional Pixinsight module. We click OK. And there we have it, StarNet. From there now we click install. Right, on the console it tells us that StarNet has been installed, one of one module. So let's see if StarNet has been installed. So this time we go to process, all process as before, and there we have it, folks. StarNet 2 has been successfully installed. So again, this is just an example to show you sometimes you install Pixinsight, you install a particular program and you run into some challenges. Like this channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you can follow along in installing Pixinsight and installing programs. And if there are any other programs that you see that that you'd like me to install, again, drop some comments down below. Let's have that conversation and let's see if I can get that installed for you. All right, let's get it done, because I want the best for you guys. I want you guys to get some fantastic astronomy and astrophotography images out there. So StarNet 2 has been installed. All right, so up next we have the infamous GraXpert. All right, in my instance, I want to download GraXpert. I know there's so many different programs available. Right, so next up we're going to install GraXpert. Right, so in order to download GraXpert, we need to go to graxpert.com and you need to select the version of the operating system that you are using. So if you're a Windows user, you click on Windows. For those who are Mac, they use Mac. Mac OS Intel, I think that's in a type of processor for the Mac OS. And of course, those that use Linux will select Linux. In my instance, I'll be downloading for Windows because it's a Windows machine. And again, I've already downloaded it in the effort of saving time. So we go back to my folder, and again, we close off Pixinsight because we're about to install GraXpert. All right, let's close this off from StarNet from before. All right, so here we are, GraXpert. right? And it tells me in this instance that it's going to download and sorry, not in download, but install to this particular folder. Right? For me, that folder is quite fine. I don't need to move it anywhere else. So we click on next, and we allow it to install. Right? And we'll be back once it's completed. Okay, so Pixinsight. Oh, why do I keep saying Pixinsight? GraXpert has now been installed. So we click on finish. So we need to launch GraXpert manually, and then it can launch inside of Pixinsight. Right? So where it says background extraction, we click on that plus sign, and we ensure that AI is selected. And what I usually like to do is bring it down to the lowest. Some people like to keep it at 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, some people all the way up to 1. I personally prefer to leave the smoothing at 0. And then from there, depending on the image that I am working with, I can adjust it accordingly. Alright, so we leave that as is. Denoising, yeah, we can leave that as is. And then we go to advanced on the right hand side, and let's see, we double check and ensure that it's the latest version 1.01. Right, same thing, we ensure that it's the latest version. In this instance, we must select 2.0, and I think that's it. Let's try loading an image just to be sure. And then you load an image and you click calculate background. See, and there you have it. Selected background extraction AI model is not installed. Should I download it now? The answer to that is yes. So we click on yes, and it's going to now download the latest AI model that we can now use inside of Pixinsight. So the AI version or the AI model has been downloaded for calculating the background. And then now what we need to do is click on denoising, denoise image, and it's going to ask you now, selected denoising AI model is not installed. Should I download it now? Now, the answer to that is obviously yes, because those are the two AI models that needs to be downloaded before we can actually start using GraXpert in its entirety. Whether you want to use it outside of Pixinsight or whether you want to use it inside of Pixinsight, with the two options that are available that I showed you earlier. And from scrubbing through one of the videos, I also saw there's a third version, an all-in-one version. So it just goes to show I've been a little bit behind in my homework, so I have some catching up to do. So there's actually 3 versions that have been installed of GraXpert on Pixinsight. So I know there's now an all-in-one version, and that's the one we'll be using moving forward. So let's download this AI model and we'll get back to it, shall we? The AI models have been downloaded. Let's move over back into Pixinsight. Right, so Pixinsight is now up and running. And just to confirm that GraXpert is working, we go to Script, Toolbox, and we'll select the first one, which is GraXpert. And just to confirm, we click on the wrench. Initially I selected yes, but just to ensure that we have the latest version, we select no. And now we have to point to the library where GraXpert was installed. I already have that in my instance, that path where GraXpert was installed. So I'm just going to put that there, and there we have it, GraXpert. So all I need to do is just select it, click open, and it's going to be updated in the console. As you can see, that's the path. So that's the first one. We then go to Script, Utilities, and Toolbox, and then select the second one, which is GraXpert Denoise. And we do the same thing again. We just basically click on the wrench, select no, select GraXpert, open, and the path is now updated. So anytime we're using either one of those, it's now going to point directly to the path where we downloaded the AI models for GraXpert. Next up, we have Russel Croman's or RC Astro's Exterminator. Now, this is one of the most powerful tools that Pixinsight has to offer. It's an AI-powered deconvolution tool, and trust me, the Astro community is going wild on this. There are lots of positive reviews, and of course, there are those who are going to give other opinions of Exterminator, but I would say the vast majority are loving this. They've been using this. I have been using this in some of my images, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend you go to rc-astro.com, download Exterminator. There's a trial version. I think it's either 15 days or 30 days. Try it out. You're going to love it. And trust me, you will purchase this afterwards. You will have no choice. Swipe that credit card, pay that $99.95, and enjoy Exterminator after you've used the trial. So highly give it a 2 thumbs up. Definitely recommend this. So I've already downloaded, I've already purchased it. So all I need to do is go back to Pixinsight, and I go to processes, all processes, and Exterminator. So it's already there waiting for me. Right, and all I need to do, since it's already installed, just ensure that AI4, which is the latest version, is already there. Right now, if you have the trial version, it's going to give when you sign up for it, it's going to give you a code. So you just basically come here on the wrench, and in my instance, because I've purchased it outright, I am permanently licensed, but you will have a code that you will enter here, and then from there the countdown begins, where you can use it for, I believe, 15 days, and then from there it expires. And I like I mentioned before, I highly recommend you get Exterminator. And of course, many of the other tools that Russel Croman has to offer, NoiseX Exterminator, StarX Exterminator, these are all fantastic tools that I highly recommend you get. Right, so now in one instance of when I was installing Exterminator, I stumbled upon an error, and the error that I got, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys, was this: error ML load could not load TensorFlow graph, converting graph depth to graph has failed. So I could not use Exterminator. So again, I reached out to Russel Croman. He sent me this link, and on the website, if you have that error, what you need to do, if you're using what do you guys call it, CUDA. Also, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card that supports CUDA, you may need to follow the instructions here and download the files that are there. If you're not using an NVIDIA card or an NVIDIA card that does not support CUDA, or one that another graphics card, maybe AMD or some other brand, you just basically go to this link, follow the instructions, and from there you should be good to go. And of course, it has to go into this particular directory path in Windows, C program files, Pixinsight, bin. And again, if you guys try this out and you're still having any issues, drop some comments down below, and let's see if I can help you. Maybe I can do another video, or maybe we can just have a quick one-on-one session to see what's causing you not to use Exterminator. So drop some comments down below. All right, next up we have the script superhero of 2024, and he goes by the name on YouTube as Seti Astro. This guy is a real champion. He has, just in a matter of weeks, I would say about 3 weeks ago, just about 3 weeks ago, he began dropping a lot of videos with various scripts that he designed. And he's not that much of a professional coder. A couple of ChatGPT codes that he was able to use, and some support from some other developers. And in no time, he has been able to really help out the Astro community. So hats off to you, buddy. Thank you so much for creating these scripts. You're a real lifesaver. Some of them that he's already designed a statistical stretch, which basically is similar to generalized hyperbolic stretch for those of you that use it. But in this instance, it's almost like a one click, and from there it goes through all of the processes to stretch the image almost to perfection. In my instance, from looking at the videos, I would say to perfection. He also has a background gradient tool, which basically now tells you where your background is located. So for example, some of you may have an image with a lot of nebulosity or a lot of stars. So in this instance, using that tool, it will scan the entire image and be able to quickly identify exactly where the background is. You can correctly select the best or the perfect background to begin or to continue processing your images. So I'll send the link below for the repository, but there are also those, if you're having trouble with the repository, you can go directly to his website, which is setiastro.com, and you go to Pixinsight scripts. Oh, I love this website. I can play with this website all day, just watching the stars and galaxies move around. So you basically go to the Pixinsight scripts, and the same ones that are available on the repository, if you're having challenges, you can download them manually. So again, this guy is a real superstar, Seti Astro. I definitely recommend you check out his videos and download the scripts that he created. Alright, so this is if you want to download the scripts manually, but I'll put the link in the description down below where you can download it via the repository, and it automatically gets populated inside of Pixinsight. So if I'm not mistaken, you go to script, and oh, here it is, Seti Astro. Will you look at that? He already has his own menu available, and that is super awesome. So you just basically go to Seti Astro, and the 4 scripts that he designed is already there and waiting for you to use. Continuum subtraction utility, and narrowband to RGB star combination, star stretch, and statistical stretch. So there you have it. And there we have it. These are just some old scripts that I have, and as well as the Gaia DR3 SP that I mentioned to you earlier, where we have to use spectrophotometric color calibration. Let's use SPCC to make our life simple before I bite off my tongue. So just to ensure that everything is already set there for Gaia as well, we go to process, all processes, and Gaia. We select Gaia DR3 SP. We click on the wrench and we ensure the path points back to where it was selected. Let me know what you guys think. Like I mentioned, drop some comments on below if there's anything else that you'd like to learn for my channel. As always, please like the video so that information could get shared amongst many others who watch astronomy and astrophotography videos, so they too can be part of it, learn, and continue to share. And of course, please ensure that you subscribe to the channel so you can get the latest videos that I plan to release on a regular basis. And of course, as I always close off by saying, thank you very much everyone for watching the channel. And don't forget, despite in my country right now the rainy season is beginning, but you may have clear skies wherever you are, don't forget, it's not the size of your telescope that counts, it's how you use it. Bye for now and take care everyone. See you soon.